we have got here this is the biceps femoris. Fortunately this time, long head is long, short is short. When you uncover the biceps, you can see the sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve, which splits here into the tibial and fibular. I told you that this common fibular nerve runs along the biceps, and it may give off the branch here. Same is the tibial nerve, which runs more centrally. And then in the popliteal fossa, you have two more structures, two vessels. One, which is immediately below the nerve, it's the popliteal vein. And then the deepest element is the popliteal artery. 100% one of them on this coming practical. Oh, maybe 99. I need to secure myself. Okay, this nerve, which arises from the tibial nerve, is the sural nerve. Sural nerve, which next runs lateral to the posterior behind and lateral to the lateral ankle, and commonly it receives a connecting branch from the common fibular, and sometimes it may arise from the common fibular only. Now, this is the Achilles tendon. See how thick tendon it is. That's very strong, but when you just turn it, it's not that much. Here we have got the gastrocnemius. That's a gastrocnemius, two heads. What is the function of the gastrocnemius, in fact?
Flex the...
It's the strongest flexor of the knee. It's the strong. No soccer player without gastrocnemius. Same without quadriceps femoris as well. But so you cannot hit the goal instead of. Now this is soleus. Maybe it's a flatfish. Looks kind of. Here we have got this plantaris muscle. See how big muscle. But its tendon is really nice. See, that's a tendon. That's a tendon of the muscle, and it's commonly attached separately to the calcaneal tuberosity. Okay, and then in the posterior group, in the deep layer, you have got these muscles of the posterior compartment. Well, see now, this muscle on top, right behind the tibia, at the mid-level, it is the flexor digitorum longus. It's a flexor digitorum longus, and see that its tendon suddenly goes a little bit behind, and then you have the next tendon. This is a tendon of tibialis posterior. So at this level, immediately next to the medial ankle, you have got the tendon of tibialis posterior, and this is tendon of flexor flexor digitorum longus. Then we have the posterior tibial vessels, tibial nerve, which commonly divides here in this tarsal tunnel into medial and lateral plantar nerves. I think that there is no problem to recognize which is medial, which is lateral. This is medial, for sure, and that will be the lateral. See here, it goes to the lateral side. We got two of them. This is medial, this is lateral. And then the largest muscle of this group, which corresponds, its position corresponds to a position of the fibular muscles. This is the flexor hallucis longus, and its tendon goes most posterior and most lateral. Out of all these tendons here, what is the flexor hallucis longus doing? I know that it flexes a big toe, but probably the name says it. But what else?
Inversion.
Okay, it's a strong inverter. Okay, what else? It's a flexor for the ankle joint. It's a plantar flexor, and is it a strong flexor or such a middle? It's absolutely the strongest. It's absolutely the strongest. Maybe not that strong as the common tendon of the gastrocnemius plus soleus, but it is generally quite important. Each tendon, if you still remember, there was something in the osteology. Posterior border of tibia has a groove for tendon of flexor hallucis longus. Then there is a groove for the flexor hallucis longus tendon in the posterior process of talus, and then we have the groove under sustentaculum tali of the calcaneus. So all these, and there is a groove for flexor hallucis longus also on the cuboid, and then definitely it goes here to reach definitely the base of the big, the distal phalanx of the big toe. That's a tendon of flexor hallucis longus. So it's quite important, and it is a muscle which is the leader to maintain the certain shape, concavity of the sole of foot. So basically, the sole of the foot has this certain shape, has this certain concavity due to position of the talus on the calcaneus. Talus is positioned over the calcaneus. Do you realize that talus is not attached to muscular tendons? It's same like in the proximal row of wrist. None of these bones is attached to the muscles. Proximal row is just on its own. Here the talus is this single bone which is not attached to the tendons, but the tendons actually and ligaments and articular capsules maintain its position. So any dislocation, forward, backward, lateral, medial, can result in the collapse of this concavity and can result in the flat-footedness. So this is quite important. This is why all factors which lead to a relaxation of the tendons and ligaments, this may cause a dislocation of the talus, a change of its position, and this may result in this flat-footedness.